Let's go. So USC brought in UCLA defensive coordinator D'Anton Lynn, and today we're going to break down his exotic simulated pressure defense, which I also call the Tinder date defense.
It's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
So I'll explain why a little bit later. And first off, I want to shout out all the USC fans. You guys blew up my Lincoln Riley Miller Moss film study, but one of you guys outed me, and you should never ever do that to someone.
There's different ways, right, to attack people, and I think Coach Lynn did a great job of looking at matchups, utilizing his personnel in a great way at UCLA, and he's probably going to do the same thing here with the new personnel that he has. And so, we've evaluated what he's done at UCLA.
So special thanks to the Zion Imaging Photo Booth for supporting PHL. Once again, that's XYAN. Book it today. South Louisiana, North Arkansas, and beyond. Zion Imaging, okay? So, before I show you this play, let's talk about simulated pressures. It's a big part of the D'Anton Lynn offense. Or I say offense, but defense. And basically, it's when a defensive lineman drops back into coverage and a linebacker or safety blitzes instead. So, in this instance, for this simulated pressure, this defensive end drops out and this linebacker blitzes. Now, why is that difficult? Well, the offensive line pre-snap is thinking, okay, it's just going to be these four guys rushing. But instead of it being these four guys rushing, it's instead this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, with this guy dropping out, okay? So, we'll show it to you. All right, at the snap, you wouldn't think that four was dropping out with the DB going that far inside, but the DB goes out. The defensive end replaces him to become an overhang defender over the middle, and you see he is now in coverage, all right? Now, while that happens, and by the way, this is third and Ponchatoula, okay? They have a lot of yards to pick up here, and the offense here, Oregon State, they're running vertical concepts, okay? So this is a longer developing play. So because it's a longer developing play, guess what Oregon State decides to do? Well, they decide to max protect it. It's only a three-man route. So Oregon State here is using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys to only block 4, but because this is such an exotic look, there's a miscommunication because they thought these 4 guys were going to rush and said these 3 guys and a blitzer rush, and you'll see the blitzer comes through free, okay, for an easy sack. They also get the added benefit of the quarterback never really seeing the blitzer, okay, and that's why simulated pressures are tough. It looks easy to do, but you have to have a communicative offensive line and a quarterback that can help you out. Now, why was this guy so far unblocked? Well, the guard and the tackle blocked the DT. The tackle blocked the end, and in theory, you would want the center to pick this guy up and the guard to pick this guy up, or both of these guys double the A gap. Tackle blocks down, and the tight end here picks up the edge, okay? And the truth here is if somebody were to go unblocked, you would prefer it to be everyone else except an interior guy running with the head start. So why do I call this the Tinder date defense? Well, it's pretty simple. You think your date is committed to you, but at the last second, they bail just for some other guy to come scoop her up. That's essentially what this is.
It's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Now this time, it's a 5-person front, and both the edge defenders bail, okay? So not one date, but 2, okay? You should have swiped left, okay? That's the same thing this center probably said because, well, to the left of him, there is an unblocked A-gap pressure, all right? This is very effective because they are in empty, all right? LSU also likes to run some empty. All right, 2019 LSU ran a ton of empty, which means 5 wide, 5 offensive linemen, no personal protector. This is a really good call versus empty because you'll see there's not a running back here to pick up an unblocked A-gap pressure which if you watch his channel, you know that's the worst type of pressure. These defensive linemen, their job is to hold these guards. The nose tackle's supposed to hold the center. And when you do that, there's nobody to block this blitzer. And this is 3rd and short. This isn't even 3rd and long, okay? You notice, is there anything open here? No, okay? It also takes some decent coverage on the back end, and Garrett Nussmeier, of course, won't be able to run away from this. Jaden Daniels can, but not Nuss. This time, there's a 5-man front, and there is no linebackers actually blitzing. Instead, it's a nickel kind of DB player, and the offensive line decides to full slide protection to the right for this edge player over here, okay? Now, you notice both tight ends go out on routes, which makes this an even better proposition for the blitzer, okay? Now, this end backs out to the running back in the flat. This is covered, but if the quarterback here would have stuck with the tight end, I don't know the progressions or anything like that, this is a massive, massive gain. Now, was this a coverage bust? Probably so, because this backer probably should know that if he's dropping out over here, he's going to pick up the running back. He also went with the running back. So there can be coverage busts when you're doing all these different exotic things. This could have been delivered, okay? But he was sacked. I actually made a mistake. I called this Oregon State earlier. This is actually a non-Power 5 North Carolina State or something like that. But still, you do see that it's even tough to block any of this stuff, even when you have everything picked up, okay? So this backer bluffs like he's blitzing. He backs out. He also backs out. And it's actually the backer who didn't show blitz at all that decides to go after him. And what makes it even more exotic is they actually cross it off, right? 2 goes over here. The in becomes the center field intermediate player, replacing this backer. So it's just so much switching, as you can see. But this time, they make the adjustment, right? Earlier, I pointed out that it's a little bit easier to do this with your running back. Well, you notice he's right here to make this play. So based on what I've heard from LSU, Caleb Jackson's blitz pickup has gotten better. Obviously, we know Josh Williams is really good in that department, okay? And John Emery earlier in his career really struggled here in blitz pickup. I am not a big cutting fan. It's just not what I like my running backs to do. I'd rather you just pick it up straight ahead up. He cuts, he misses them, and then it's just a sack, okay? Everything was picked up. The left tackle's also beat here pretty bad. So, as you can see, nothing's open, and it is a sack. So, does Garrett Nussmeier have a shot to stand up against simulated pressures? Well, guess what? He already played a team that does a lot of it, okay? Now, Wisconsin likes to do it a lot more with 5 guys, so the end right here backs out. You got a cross dog happening on this right side. The key to defeating this is just playing quick, honestly, okay? When you're doing all this exotic mess, things can open up if you play quick, all right? You don't have Malik Neighbors anymore, but anybody can catch it. Now, no one's going to be able to run like Malik after the catch, but as you guys saw back here, Mason Taylor was also open for a nice gain. Of course, we want to take this all freaking day. Now, once again, it's not an apples-to-apples comparison because Wisconsin did a lot more 5-man simulated than 4, where UCLA did more 4 than 5, but still. And the key to this is your offensive line, right? Communicating this, having a good personal protector. Now, whoever the center will be, more than likely DJ Chester, but it could be Garrett Dellinger. You just have to be able to communicate it. All right, once again, this is more a 5-man look again. And as you can see, Garrett is so freaking clean back there. Pitch and catch, play quick, and guess what? We'll take 5-6 all day, every day, baby. All right, here's another one. And once again, this is just the beginning of the game. So it's a little bit different because it is indeed very scripted, the first plays of the game. But once again, let's just play pitch and catch, even when the protection's good, and they're playing soft behind it, which I think Lynn is going to do, okay? Again, I mean, this is pretty much every play that you've watched, and this time there's a third-level player. Oh, you want to do all this exotic stuff? We'll just play pitch and catch, okay? Obviously, not a lot of yards, but we'll take it all day, every day. All right. I think this is Gio Paez mixed in here as well. One of LSU's new defensive linemen. Drop him out. Cross dog it here. This is just, this will get an offensive line coach erotic, this pickup right here. Okay? You pass this off with the right guard. Right guard keeps his head up, finds 55 hooking around. You got a running back here to help out a tight end who does get beat here. And Mason rarely does get beat. I mean, you can't protect this any freaking better. And once again, the only new piece is the center. All right? Everything else here, outside of the running back going to Ole Miss, is simple. Okay? So even to get simulated pressures, you can, if it's blocked to perfection, do some Johnny Manziel stuff, which is obviously create on the run and find a wide open BTJ down the field as he adjusts his route. Okay? And he was actually out of bounds there, but still, complete a catch. If BTJ was, didn't make a mistake, which he rarely did. Okay? Now, it can get difficult, all right, simulated pressures or just blitzers versus the run. Okay? It can get into your running game, especially if you're trying to pull, because it just creates a lot of traffic. And as you can see, there really is nothing Logan Diggs could have done about this run. Now, this one is definitely a Lynn special. Okay, 3-man front, you're backing out, he's backing out, and you're bringing 2 over here. And once again, it's Stonewall Jackson, y'all. I mean, what else could you want, all right? It is a bit of a deep drop, and Garrett is kind of fading away, little antsy feet in the pocket. So it's not the cleanest pickup off the secondary move, but it still was plenty of time for Garrett to hit this. That would have been a first down. And he also overshot BTJ here. That also would have been a first down.
We just have to be prepared, to handle, 3 down, 4 down pressures, all of those things, and be who we are. But know that we have a great deal of respect for what he's done.
I have a lot of respect for D'Anton Lynn, but also know that he only has 1 year of coordinator experience. Now, having those Baltimore Ravens years makes him very valuable, but as you saw, UCLA number 1 in the Pac-12 in yards per play and total yards per game, and this 2-deep looks pretty good. It also doesn't have Meyer, a transfer DT from Wyoming. A few more key players, Bear Alexander, the Georgia 5-star transfer. A lot of you are familiar with him. It's been a little bit of a dramatic career, but very talented. Anthony Lucas was a guy that was really high on the Orgeron tenures board. LSU almost got him. He went to Texas A&M and now is at USC. Greedy Vance from Louisiana, Edna Carr High School. Here he is camping at LSU. He's a transfer from Florida State. And Kamari Ramsey might be the most important player. He's a safety, a transfer from UCLA, so he knows the system and could be very dangerous. So this happens every year where I do a preview on the other team and we get new subscribers and followers from the other team. So please come by a live stream. And if you're going to Vegas, let me know. I'm planning on being at Circa on Friday night. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But there was one comment that I had to address right now, and I don't like this private info about myself being released publicly. But as you can see, it is indeed true. This commenter is correct. My high-flying playing days were illustrious. And USC fans, here is back when I played roughly 10 years ago. And as you can see, Auburn could not handle me back in 2015. So, very clearly, the best LSU or USC running back of the past 20 years was indeed me. Okay? Now, I'm a huge Reggie Bush fan. Don't come after me. Now, the truth is, this game is going to be absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys drop a donation because these film studies do take a very long time. And we'll talk to you soon, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! And floating in your face are Miller Moss Film Study. And tonight, we're doing tacos because it's Tuesday. Let's go. Oh, Mr. Steel Girl.